Welcome to the presentation of the last investment opportunity in the new Banana Island coming up in Port Harcourt. My name is Mike China. I'm an expert global business solutions expert and your real estate success strategist known as the mayor of housing. And today I'll be taking you on a journey to explain fully the offer that has brought you into this presentation, because I tell people the gate before you invest is called investigate. So these are the details for your investigation. There is a new Banana Island coming up in Port Harcourt, and this opportunity we have termed the Pro Distress Sales Promo, where for the value of one duplex, you get 7 duplexes in value in 3 years with a 200% in 1 year cashback guarantee. It's a sustainable green lush city with C of O, and this is the last investment window with already proven 700% returns for those that invested 3 years ago. If you're able to invest now in 3 years, this is the second round of 7x returns. And of course, this is an investor's delight. And the difference between investors and homeowners is that investors seek profit, homeowners seek location. So, and we have over 2 billion naira in total discount up for grab in this presentation. And as I said earlier, it has a 200% cashback guarantee. And guess what? Out of the 2.5 million Nigerians that can afford this locally and in diaspora, only 10 slots are available for either one person or 10 people. And an average duplex in Nigeria costs between 300 million and 500 million. So for 300 million naira, you get times 7, which is 2 billion naira in 3 years, with a 600 million naira cashback guarantee after 1 year if you are not interested. So with that in mind, let's go to the details of how it works. Welcome to the presentation of the best opportunity in the new Banana Island in Port Harcourt, where you multiply value for investors. And it's called the ALESA HIGHLANDS Live Higher for those that want to live higher. The first thing I want to tell you is that you've already missed the first value quantum leap. 3 years ago, we started this project when there was no survey plan, when there was no C of O, when there was no allocation, when there was nothing but lush green forest land. When we acquired the land in 2022, we did a promo that said you could buy for 5 million and 3x your investment in 9 to 18 months. But guess what? In 2022, we sold for 5 million, and instead of 15 million, it turned out to be 35 million naira today. Why? Because we promised you 6 months to 18 months. It turned out being 36 months because of the difficulty of getting C of O in Rivers State. And thank God for the intervention of His Excellency, the wonderful governor of Rivers State. He was able to help facilitate this when he came to power, and our CFO is finally out. So this same opportunity was sold for 5 million naira in 2022, 10 million naira in 2023, 15 million naira in 2024. And guess what? Today it's 35 million. So those that invested when we started for 5 million have just gotten 7x value, and it hasn't ended there because we're just getting started. So you've missed the first value quantum leap of 5 million to 35 million naira. But the good news is that how will 35 million naira for 5 million sound to you again if we're to relieve or buy back time? If that sounds good for you, then don't miss this second opportunity. And what is the second opportunity? Here is the offer. Instead of 5 million for 35 million, you are doing 30 million or 35 million for 10 plots. And when you buy 10 plots of 35 million naira for 350 million, first of all, you get a 50 million naira discount. So instead of paying 350 million, you only pay 300 million. Secondly, the land becomes 50 million in 10 days. So in 10 days, you are getting your 50 million naira back before you pay in discount. And then you're getting another 150 in value addition. When you make this payment, we already have a post-dated sales purchase agreement that will be with you. We have already signed. All you need to do is, after 12 months, you are interested in cashback, you just sign your own section, bring it to us, and then we'll give you 6 months to buy off your 10 plots for 600 million. And the money would already be in the bank. We're giving 6 months because we just want to give a buffer. So that's how good this offer is. And there are other exclusive perks that are attached to this offer that I'll be telling you in the course of this presentation. So, but before we get to those exclusive perks, let's talk about the real story, because most times my presentations and my offers sound too good to be real, or that's my stock in trade. When we first started to build in Abuja and we wanted to build terrace duplexes with rooftop private swimming pool on each unit, many people dismissed it that it was too good to be real, until we did it in 2019 and the rest is history. So let's go to the real facts of what makes this offer and myself unique. So you are right about the problems. A lot of people have fallen prey to a lot of problems in the housing industry in Nigeria. Problems that have to do with documentation, location, personnel, and especially the truth. But I have a quote that says, real estate is an industry with only 3 risks: documentation, personnel, and location, and only one liability: impatience. And if you will be patient for the next 12 months, I assure you, your 300 million naira will already be 600 million naira. And these 4 problems that we have noted: documentation. We didn't come with this offer until we did our triple layered documentation. What's our triple layered documentation? First of all, we bought this piece of land from the Aboriginal owners of the land in ALESA, LMA, in Port Harcourt. Secondly, we bought the land again from the government. We've noticed in part of the problem developers have had in the past is sometimes they do their purchase with the government without settling the natives, and there will be court issues. Sometimes they settle the natives without settling the government, and the government will take over the land. So to ensure that both sides are secured, we bought from the natives and we bought from the government through a government allocation. And the third tier of documentation is that after our allocation and payment with the government, we have to ensure we added value to the documentation by getting the CFO, who just came out last month, and that's why we're having this presentation today. For the location, I have the Midas eyes for location, and I can tell you this is the best location to come out of Africa. In Abuja, there was a location called Guzape that was an extension of Asokoro. It used to be the back of Asokoro. When the Gilmore and the government built roads that connected that back of Asokoro to the main roads, it became a new highbrow area called Gusape. In Lagos, when that Trans-Ikoyi bridge that connected Lekki to Ikoyi and Banana Island came up, connected value to Banana Island that made it the new Banana Island. Now, in Port Harcourt, Peter Delay is like the Lekki of Port Harcourt. And now, that water was the last frontier that separated Peter Delay with this hitherto hidden island that used to be the farmlands of our lesser people. But with that new bridge connecting Peter Delay to the place, this is not just a hot location. It is the new Banana Island. And that's why it's for luxury. For personnel, one of the things that makes me so exceptional in real estate is that I build my personality, I sell my personality, I pride on my personality that nobody understands value and real estate better than me. So for personnel, this is not a third-party property that we are selling for a third party. Me, myself, and I is the director of ALESA Highlands Estate Limited. So you're buying from Semoa. To comprehend? For truth, one of the things that have killed a lot of real estate projects in Nigeria is when they are economical with the truth. We are so free with the truth that in the course of this presentation, you understand why we are not economical with the truth. So all the problems you hit talked are the problems in real estate. You are right, but the solution is staring right back at you. So let's start from homes and profits. This presentation is not for homeowners. We're not selling houses in the estate yet. We're not looking for people that want to live in the estate yet. And that's why you might be seeing this from the diaspora, from Lagos or Abuja. We are offering the last investment window for those that want to harvest profit, because investors are interested in profit while homeowners are interested in location. And homes have location, but profits have no location. So you can invest and take advantage in this from anywhere in the world. And guess what? Even though it's for everybody in the world, it's only 10 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. 10 people that will get this opportunity. Or one mega person that will see this and say, no, I don't want this to get to the market. I'll take it. So, and all the problems in real estate, the insincerity of developers, the government bureaucracy, the lack of documentation, the lack of planning, all the problems in real estate are actually the money. And that's our driving force. Our driving force is to be the solution for all the problems in real estate. And so far, we have been doing that. You can check us out and check our track record. We're not here to blow our trumpet, but it's our trumpet, so we will blow it. So imagine what is coming. Imagine a new banana island. The name of the community where this is seated is actually called ALESA. But for this project, we have codenamed ALESA an advanced living environment for sustainable living. And what we want to do is a renaissance of both Banana Island, Shell RA, and LNG RA. Some of the best living spaces in the whole of Rivers State is Shell RA that was built more than 50 or 60 years ago, and the LNG RA that was built more than 24 years ago. Because of the greenery and the space in those projects and the amount of maintenance, meticulous maintenance, they have retained that awe-inspiring ambience that some people call LNG RA and Shell RA, the two diaspora locations in Rivers State. That's what we want to recreate. We're recreating a lush green smart city that has the lowest density. That's why this stage 2 is actually the last investment window. After this, we'll start selling homes. So after this is more or less like homeowners entry. But for those that want to really reap high returns, this is the last window. And housing investment the value chain for housing investment has about 4 or 5 stages. And I'm going to take you through the journey of those stages. The initial stage, the high risk stage, highest risk stage actually, is when there was no survey plan, there was no allocation, there was no CFO, there was nothing, there was just me. So those of you that invested actually bought me, not land, because at that stage, you only trusted me as a person. And that stage, this same plot of land we're selling for 35 million, we sold for 5 million. The second stage is the sure money multiplier stage. At that initial stage, there's a risk that you might buy your 5 million and I might not succeed to get the CFO, and your investment might be stunted where we'll have to liquidate and give you back your money. But now that the CFO has been done and all the bureaucracy handled, the second stage is the sure money multiplier stage, where we are selling for 35 million. And a case study of this is Gulf Estate, 6 years ago, and Reef Court 4 years ago. 4 years ago, when I came to Port Harcourt, Reef Court was actually selling for 32 million because they had gotten the CFO and had moved to site. 7 years ago, when Gulf Estate was still had gotten their CFO and moved to site, it was selling for 35 million. That is where we are. At this stage, your money is sure to multiply because there's no risk, there's no CFO risk, there's no documentation risk, there's no location risk, there's no government risk. All that has been handled. Remember, we got our location from the government, paid, and also got our CFO. So you have all the insulation. That stage is the initial the sure money multiplier stage. The second stage, or the third stage, is the early bird profit stage, which is coming up by the end of the year, which is 70 million. Because of how fast we are developing this project, this should have come up in 2 years' time. But because we are not building ourselves, we have a green walls building partner where your normal duplex that takes about 4 months to 8 months to build, we are building in 3 weeks using the green wall technology. And that's a presentation for when you come in fully. The green wall technology manufactures all the walls of our buildings in the factory on site and builds the house in 3 weeks. So that means by the end of the year, when we would have put down a couple of units, then we're going to move from 50 million naira, because after these 10 days for this promo, this land becomes 50 million. We're going to move from 50 to 70 million between now and the end of the year. And that was what happened to Gulf Estate about a year after 6 years or 7 years ago. Say for Gulf Estate 7 years ago. For Reef Court 3 years ago, Reef Court was 70 million naira. And the last profit speed stage is when the land will be between 100 million and 150 million naira. And the case study is Gulf Estate and Reef Court Estate a year ago. They were going for between that amount. Right now, they are at slightly around that amount. Then the final stage for the Thomases is called the Proud Doubters Ego stage, where the estate would have been almost fully built with all infrastructure functioning, with a few pockets of lands remaining. The proud doubters want to see, how are the buildings? Have people lived in them for up to 3-4 years? What is the infrastructure like? What's the facility management like? What's the garden like? What are the sports facilities like? All these, the proud doubters want to see, like Thomas, touch, experience, go in. That's when you'll be buying land for 200 to 300 million. And a case study is Nikon Town and Banana Island. For Nikon Town, I have a friend. We're still going to get his video, that Mr. Femi, he was actually privileged to buy Nikon Town when it was 96 million naira. And he said it was too expensive. A couple of years later, it was 300 million and he could not afford it. We have in Banana Island, one of my lawyer's clients, that when Lekki was selling for about 12 million naira a plot, Banana Island was selling for about 60 million. And he bought, I think, 4 or 5 plots. And some people thought he was mad. Why not buy plenty plots in Lekki? But guess what? He sold one of those plots about 5 years ago for over 500 million naira. Right now, plot of land in Banana Island is almost $1 billion naira. So people coming into Nikon Town now, Banana Island now, these are already built up areas that are functional. Those are the stages of investment in a proper estate development. And we are at the second stage, but the last investment stage for those that want to take advantage. Why the last investment stage? Because at this stage, we've not even done our layout. At this stage, we're still giving discriminatory discounts. Like there's a discriminatory discount system we use in real estate, where, for instance, I have 2 plots of land that are supposed to be 10 million, 10 million. But because I have not penetrated the market, I'll deliberately sell the first plot for 8 million for people to see how good it is. And when they buy it for 8 million, this one, instead of 10 million, I'll take that 2 million and add to this one and sell this one for 12 million, because by the time they taste and see that the land is good, more people will come. So early bets are investors, later bets are people that pay the profit of the investors. So that is the discriminatory discount you are getting at this stage. For instance, at this stage, we are supposed to already be selling our land for 50 million, but in 10 days, after 10 of you or one of you take advantage of this window to now go to 50 million naira. Then this last investment stage, we're putting a 200% or 2x guarantee for you, because you are interested in your profit. You might not want to live here. You might not be in Port Harcourt. You might be in Lagos or Abuja. You might just want to pull in and pull out. Apart from the fact that a year from now, the land will be 70 million, we are willing to buy it from you for 60 million. So for your 10 plots, we're willing to give you 600 million for it and then sell at whatever price we want to enjoy. And then there's another possibility for 7x, because we are looking that the estate will surely get up to 200 million, because the ones before the waterfront right now, Gulf Estate is selling for 120, Reef Court is selling for 120 million right now. And because they are not as low density as what we want to do, because in lands, the density determines the price of the land. What we mean is that if you have 5 plots of land for an estate and you don't put a football field, you don't put any infrastructure, you just build 5 houses. Those 5 houses, if a plot of land in that estate is 100 million, you can sell those houses, the plots, for 100 million. But if you decide to sacrifice 2 plots of 200 million to build a football pitch in that, or a mini basketball court in that estate of 5 plots, you are left with 3 plots. You are not going to sell those 3 plots for 100 million, because the space these 2 plots was taken and the amount will be superimposed on these 3 plots. So you take that 200 million and superimpose it on this plot. So this plot becomes maybe 280 million. That's how real estate is done. So the more the greenery and the space, the more expensive the remainder of the land that is remaining. And for those of you that understand Port Harcourt, it's like Rumuokrishi and Shell RA. For instance, in Rumuokrishi, I'll not buy a plot of land for more than 30 million naira. But in Shell RA, I'll buy a plot of land for 300 million naira. That's the power of density, greenery, planning, and infrastructure. In Bonny Island, for instance, I cannot buy a plot of land outside the walls of LNG for 30 million naira. But in LNG RA, I can buy a plot of land for 300 million naira. Exponential profit is what investors are looking for, not home. So this is the last investment stage, because after this, we would have done our layout and fixed everything. And please don't get it twisted. I'm not just speculating with numbers. These are not just speculative numbers. It's actually compensation or compensatory prices, infrastructure value, appreciation, and resale value. As I told you, as I explained before, compensatory prices is that when we have 5 plus 1 sell for 10 million each, we can discriminately compensate the first 2 people by doing a promo and say the first 2 to buy the 10 million naira land, buy for 5 million. That 5 million we took out from here, we'll add it to these ones and sell these ones for 15 million, because when these 2 come and start building, these 2 will want to come. So every estate does that, and that's how value is discriminated. And it's not price actually, it's time. What's a distress sale? A distress sale is when you sell something cheaper than the value. And my definition for distress sales is anything above 40% reduction in price. So if I'm supposed to sell you a 10 million naira land for 6 million or 5 million, it's a distress sale. But because we're not talking about prices, we're talking about time. Those that bought in 2022 actually bought 2025 35 million naira land for 5 million in 2022. So super distress sale is what this is. So don't take my word for it. It's their word, not my word. Listen to them.
Victor Tubo is my name. I'm a businessman from Abuloma.
My name is Obi, Tony Obi. I'm a business owner and I live in Delta State.
My name is Mwafo Uzema Charity. I'm a lawyer and I practice with the Masters Chambers, number 5 Apara Road, GRA.
My name is Henry Unoakpo. I'm an HR executive. That's what I do. I practice human resources. And I live in Port Harcourt.
My name is Apollos Obianime, Dr. Apollos Obianime. I'm an accountant, I'm a public servant. I live in Port Harcourt.
It looked like a chance meeting, but now, with the way things have panned out, I think it was divinely orchestrated. I met the Mayor of Housing through a close relative of mine.
So the Mayor of Housing, I think, has been doing some good job because not many people will say they don't know about the Mayor of Housing because the billboards are everywhere.
What I saw in that property intrigued me and got my interest, so I decided to become part of it.
When I heard of the mayor of land, a friend introduced me to Mayor of Land, Apollos. Without much, the very day I saw this young man, I liked him.
Mayor is a popular figure now. Mayor of Housing is a popular figure. I know him quite from time, but for this particular transaction over the radio.
Well, the journey began in mid-2022, and I think we got a plot of land at that time for 4.5 million naira.
So each of them was 15 million, but I knew also that something big was coming and that big thing was going to change the cost of the land within a day or two.
I bought my land from ALESA HIGHLANDS 2 years ago at 5 million naira per plot, and I bought 4 plots.
About a year ago, I bought the land from ALESA Highland. That was, I think, 10 million.
And I was quite impressed with the integrity of the brand, the innovation, and their drive for excellence. Everything about the Mayor of Housing is excellence personified. It was as though the goal was to beat whatever standard was existing already.
My first thought was, this sounded a bit too good to be true. And someone had once said before, if it is too good to be true, then it's not true. So I had those doubts, I had the concerns. But what did I do? I made a number of calls. I spoke with a number of persons. I wanted to find out more about the entire concept. I think one of the things that helped me as well was the videos that I saw. That one was good. The one that I think was taken with some drone coverage that led all the way from Odili Road to the property itself.
At all. You don't need to ask me such questions. How will I have doubt? How will I go and stake my money where I have doubt? No. I am very much confident that my money is in safe hands.
When we were pursuing the COO, people were saying things like, he's a fraudster, he's a 419, he's not ready to do anything, he's not going to finish the project, and all that. But that didn't stop me because they don't know what they're saying.
I'm excited, very excited when we got the CFO. As a matter of fact, I consider myself a partner because I started with him.
I even told my friends that invested through me that they should be happy and bring people to come and invest. This is when you will invest. If you don't invest now, you will have every cause to regret tomorrow.
But I think with the CFO, it has appreciated a lot. Buying something for 4 or 5 million naira and perhaps now 20, 30 million naira.
So I think I paid just the day before the CFOs came out, just the day before. And I paid 15 million for each of them. And the following day the CFO comes out, it's 35 million.
So it's 35. That's interesting. 5 million naira times 10 plus, that will be 50 million. So if it's 35 now, 35 times 10, 350 million. How can you make that kind of profit?
In the nearest future, it is going to be the London in the city.
If you want to invest now, I wouldn't say you're an early arrival person, but then you can invest now. Because In a couple of months, you won't even be getting at the price that we're giving now.
You will chew up your fingers if you do not take up.
If you're considering investing with the Mayor of Housing, you are 3 years late already. But better late than never.
So I encourage people to key in even now, because it's still fresh, you know. Key in now, and you might still come here happy as I am.
So after hearing them, it's your choice, not mine. I've already made a choice that I'm building the smartest, greenest, most sustainable estate in Nigeria. I first started real estate in 2018, and just coming in, we only do 2 things in my business because Peter Drucker, the greatest business guru of the 21st century, said business only has 2 functions: innovation and marketing. When we came into the space as far back as 2018, we promised you a duplex or a linked terrace duplex, the first linked terrace duplex that has circulation spaces around terraces and a rooftop private swimming pool on each unit, and we delivered that. With that, I already know who I am. And so it's your choice, not mine. It's your choice whether you want to live in the most green and the most advanced living space to come into the Niger Delta or probably Nigeria. But before then, ask yourself, what's most important to you in real estate? Is it money or profit? If it's money or profit, then this is your opportunity. Is it location? If it's location, this is the best location to come out of Port Harcourt yet, just like we're all raving about Banana Island. But I'm sure the first people that went to Banana Island called it a heap of sand. The location is so valuable that all I've said about the location can never be the location. So what? Let me take you to the location. Come, let's go to site. This is the popular Garrison flyover, and it's a good day and a good place for us to start this wonderful inspection to the wonder of Port Harcourt called ALESA Highland Sustainable Green Smart City. But when you are coming, don't glide the flyover and don't be carried away by the beauty of this beautiful stretch. You are going to take not up but down. In fact, instead of you to just take down, you know what? Come along with me and I'll take you to sites. No need to bother for direction. Follow me and let's go to site. So as we are going to site right now, remember you're not taking the top of the bridge. You are taking under. But if you want to go to Government House or the State Secretariat, you can take the top of the bridge. But if you're from ALESA Highlands, you are taking the lower part in this beautiful garrison. And when you get to the under of the bridge, please do your left exit here. Turn to your left, and when you turn to your left, enter the Trans-Amadi exit. Don't go back to Aba Road by doing a complete U-turn. Follow the red arrow, and it ushers you into this beautiful Trans-Amadi Road. Trans-Amadi happens to be the oldest industrial area in Port Harcourt. One of those beautiful areas that is reminiscent of VI in Lagos. And between the Garrison roundabout or the Garrison junction and the next beautiful roundabout, which is the Mpogo roundabout, is just 2 minutes and you are already here at the Mpogo roundabout. Continue ahead and just follow the red arrow and you are with us. And between the Mpogo roundabout along this beautiful Trans-Amadi Road is the next roundabout 2 minutes from Mpogo called the Mother Cat roundabout. Continue straight on and follow the red arrow, and another 2 minutes from the Mother Cat roundabout you get to the Ordnance roundabout. This is now where you take a right into the Sassoon Road. On the Sassoon Road, continue on your right to another 2 minutes roundabout from Ordnance is the Sassoon roundabout, and this has ushered you into the beautiful Peter Odili Road. Do a left and continue on Peter Odili Road. That is the popular Market Square, and that is Red Coral, and that is the office of the Mayor of Housing along Peter Odili Road 298B. You continue to the next roundabout, the JDP roundabout. Continue straight on, following the red arrow. Remember, Gulf Estate is by your right, which is one of the most beautiful top 4 estates in Port Harcourt. And the last frontier on Peter Odili development, after you pass the Trans-Woji flyover, you notice that the Gulf Estate ends at the waterfront. Most of Peter Odili ends at the waterfront, but before the end of Peter Odili Road is now the point where we are bringing you to value. This is the place we are beginning the real value inspection. Let me get down from the car. And the wonder takes the real dimension here in this beautiful junction, where from the popular Peter Odili Road, we are now hitting the new ALESA, ALESA Highway. This hitherto was cut off from this beautiful, valuable area called Peter Odili. If you are watching and you understand Lagos, in Lagos we have the Ikoyi. In Port Harcourt, Ikoyi is OGRA. In Lagos we have VI. In Port Harcourt, VI is Transamadi that I showed you when we were coming. In Lagos we have Lekki. In Port Harcourt, Peter Odili is the Lekki of Port Harcourt, and Lekki Ikoyi New Banana Link Bridge is the ALESA New Bridge, and ALESA Highland is the new Banana Island, while in Lagos you have Banana Island. So come along with me, let's take you across the bridge, or should I be singing across the bridge? There'll be no more stories. Come with me! I don't know whether Lagos or Port Harcourt who is more gentle, but this is Port Harcourt. And to protect the road that is newly tarred and the final surfacing have not been done, this barrier needed to be in place so that no car can cross this barrier and begin to disvirgin the road that is not yet matured. So come along with me and I'll take you to the bridge that connects the value called ALESA. So I'm walking to the top of the bridge because I wish the barrier wasn't there. I would have driven, but I know if the barrier wasn't there, everybody would have driven along this road and probably damaged the road before the final construction is over. So I'm happy to walk, and if you can walk along with me, this is the new value connection that connects the end of Peter Odili to the beginning of the new Banana Island. And you can see the bridge has already been done. I'm on top of the bridge right now, and I'm leading you to the end of the bridge. Since the creation of Adam and Eve, this is the first time these two lands are connected across the river to this beautiful bridge that has crossed over. If not for the little break in government, this should have been concluded by now. But for those of you that have been asking if the bridge has completely crossed, I had to walk right across to the end. And this river might seem small in drone coverage, but in real life, it's a huge river. You can see vessels around the river because it's a sea-going river or waterway, and the bridge has crossed over. This is the first time myself walking to the end of the bridge, and this has connected the new Banana Island. So you can either call this the new Banana Island or Peter Odili extension. And for those of you that know Port Harcourt, this is the highest value yet to come to Port Harcourt. And this is the wonder of Port Harcourt. This here is ALESA Mall, the biggest mall in Nigeria. And this here is ALESA Highlands, the residential with a park in front. And these two makes the wonder of Port Harcourt called ALESA Highlands. Watch out for what will be happening here in the next 6 months. If it's security, we are getting an estate with triple perimeter fencing, where there is a fence of trees before a brick fence, before an electric wire gauze fence that is set pressure and breach sensitive. Pressure and breach sensitive is that if you pressure the wire fence, there will be an alarm and it will show what part of the fence is being pressured. If you cut it with pliers, it will set up an alarm, and we're setting up the alarm in the area command and in the security. And because of this project, we are building a new area command for the element people close to the estate so that security is ensured. Is it environment? We're recreating an environment that will not only be green, lush, and spacious, but we're doing a 3-level horticulture where we're doing horticulture for food, mangoes, guavas, and all the fruit-bearing plants. We're doing horticulture for medicine, dogoyaro, lemongrass, and all the medicinal plants. We're doing horticulture for beauty, the roses and all the flowers, especially the Queen of the Nights. I love that so much. So it will be a very lush environment. But we're doing something. The green wall, which is the wall of trees, is actually set to filter the air that comes into the estate. The people that will understand this is China built a wall of trees to filter the sand and dusty air that was coming, I think, from the Kalahari Desert. There's a desert close to China. So those wall of trees will filter, like those of you in Port Harcourt, the black soot issue wouldn't be an issue in this estate. But we're deliberately using pine trees that are high enough and their leaves are magnetic enough to filter all the dust and all the black soot that will be coming into the whole estate. And each house will have a number of trees allocated to it to both filter and give you oxygen, because I found out as a developer that trees or plants are meant to be with us, even indoor plants, because plants give out oxygen and taking carbon dioxide. And one of the things that causes for pollution is carbon dioxide. And apart from that, we are using a zero carbon energy system. Our hydrogen power system is zero carbon, and that's the kind of environment we're building. Then the most important thing I tell people is neighbors. This is an address for the top 1% of the top 1%. It's not for everybody. We have about 1,000 plots that are dedicated for residential and 500 for commercial. On the commercial, we are building biggest mall in Nigeria. On the residential, we're already taking about 150 plots to build a park to buffer the estate from the express, because it's along that new road. Then behind the park, by the time we allocate all the lands we want to allocate to infrastructure, we'll probably not have up to 500 houses in that space, because we're really allocating to a lot to green space and infrastructure. So the kind of neighbors you're going to have, and it's not an environment where the average riffraff can afford to be in. So imagine being neighbors with the 1% of the top 1%. So apart from living in an estate, you have an association that you can associate with the top of the top. Sometimes show me your neighbors and I'll show you your dreams, because if you live in the best neighborhood with the best neighbors, your mind functions the best way, because there is a research by Harvard that shows that environment is responsible for 95% of your success. So imagine those kind of neighbors. Imagine infrastructures that are world-class and have 30 years warranty. All our infrastructural partners from all over the world are giving us 30 years warranty. As a matter of fact, the hydrogen power plant we're going to use has a 99 years warranty. Then imagine the feeling you get when you come in and you are living in this kind of environment that is awe-inspiring. I don't know how to describe the feeling, but if you've ever entered Shell RA or LNG RA, most people call them the diaspora feeling. You are in Port Harcourt, but you've gone abroad once you drive through the gates of this estate. Then imagine the kind of personnel that you are dealing with. Niger's fastest rising real estate brand in Africa. Imagine the way my mind and the mind of my team works. Our international consultant architect is one of the best architects in the world. You can check out his YouTube page on Francos Mares. You can see it. Just go there, watch some of his structures. We're using some of the best architects and best personnel in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, we're even engaging on an inspirational trip to Dubai just to go and inspire our architecture before we come finally lay out our design and layout. And finally, legacy. Growing up, we always have this, I was born in the estate, I was born in Diobu dichotomy. Give your children the legacy of growing up in an environment that not only develops their thinking, but they can brag about and say, I'm an estate person. When Lagos Festac used to be one of the best estates in Lagos, when people say I live in Festac, it's like, So imagine the legacy. So why pro distress sales promo? Imagine in 2022, I was selling you a 35 million naira land for 5 million. How will that sound? Too good to be true, right? That's why we brought you their testimonials. And more testimonials are there because we've not told all our partners that our CFO is out. These are the people that are around. Our diaspora partners will still send in their testimonials because, yes, some people actually invested in this in 2022 from the diaspora and they are so proud of it. So imagine if in 2022 I came to you and said, I have a 35 million naira land, but if you pay 5 million naira, I'll give you the land. That's why it's pro distress sales. So just think, close your eyes. Today is 30 million for those buying up to 10 plots. Imagine what happens in 2028 when it will be 200 million or more. That is pro distress. And guess what? Whatever I'm presenting here does not matter because you've already made up your mind. This is not for everybody. There are 10 people out there that recognize value when they see it, that investigate value when they get it, that take advantage of value when they see it. This bundle of value standing before you, some of you have already decided you're not going to look into it or look into this. And I said, Joel, you can't buy the land again. He said, why? I said, the land you bought, you rejected for 5 million is now 35 million because when he came was towards the end of 2024, around October, November, and we had paid for our CFO, the final payment for our CFO in October. For those of you that saw our offer, in October we did an offer selling for the last stage of 15 million, waiting for this CFO so that we can sell at 35 million. And he said, but is the CFO out? I said, no. He said, please, can you give me for 15 million since you've not collected the CFO? We collected our CFO April 2025. And I said, no. He said, please. I said, I'll only do it on one condition, that you're going to do us a video testimonial when we need it. And he agreed. And that's how he begged for 15 million for a land he rejected for 5 million. That was so interesting. And the story of Oyolu is that Oyolu came into Nigeria from the US in 2022, saw my billboard and saw that it was my face there. And I said that this guy might probably be genuine because he's not hiding his face. And He watched our presentation video and bought for 5 million and asked his friends to buy. One of his friends bought. The other 4 did not buy because they were doubting. But what they did was that they put money together and bought as a group. So 2023, 2024, they were calling Oyolu, this is your man, China. He's not serious. Our money. And he kept on telling them, the China I met in Nigeria, I'm sure he will deliver. And guess what? 2024, our CFO was, 2025 January, our CFO was signed. And I called Oyolu and said, guess what? Our CFO has been signed. The land is now 35 million. He said, good news. You know what? I'll fix a Zoom meeting where you talk with my friends. I told them, your land is now worth 35 million. A week later, Oyolu and his friends came calling. We want more land. I say, your land is now 35 million. Can you buy your land? They say, no, we can't buy for 35 million. But we came early. Can't you give us an early price? I say, if I could turn back the hands of time, then your land will still be 5 million, but not 35, and I cannot help you. And he was like, wow. They had to beg for them to buy at 25, and I agreed to give to them at 25 if they will share their testimonial. So today I'm sharing their story. If you don't see Joel's story and Oyolu's story on our website or any of our platforms in the next couple of months, know that I've given them back their money, because that's the condition of the sale. So the story is that what you reject today, don't come to beg for tomorrow. So what, you remember when I gave you this offer, I told you there are extra perks. What more do we have about this offer? The more thing we have is that this new environment or our surroundings is made up of top developments. For instance, we have 2 lots of land. So we are building the biggest mall in Nigeria, because the present biggest mall in Nigeria is the Tinapa Mall, and it's about 80,000 square meters, which is about 180 plots or 160 something plots. We are dedicated 300 plots out of this 500 plots in our commercial area for ALESA Mall. ALESA Mall will be world class. We already have our Korean partners and our Dubai partners that we are going to develop that mall with. Why is the mall important? In Port Harcourt, there are a lot of malls, but there's no mega mall. So if you drive through Peter Dele, just look left and right, you'll just be seeing supermarkets and malls, many. So, but we found out that malls create more than a shopping experience. Malls are the modern replacement for our village squares. People didn't go to village squares just to buy and sell. People go there to gist, for leisure, to meet other people. So we are creating the new center of Port Harcourt, where people from all parts of Port Harcourt will be coming. Our surrounding is so valuable because it's between Onne and Peter Dele or Transamadi. Transamadi was the old industrial area. Onne is the new industrial area. As a matter of fact, the government has done a PPP with my very good friend for the new port city that is about 1,000 hectares of mixed-use industrial, residential, and commercial development. In Onne, there are about 300 companies, and most of the staff of these companies travel from Onne to Port Harcourt. With this new banana island in between Peter Dele and Onne, most of their expatriates and their top people want to live there. And on top of the mall, we'll be having a helipad. This is deliberate because most of the companies that fly helicopters for offshore operations use either the Air Force or the airport. So there is already secured funding from our partners that will be accessing in the next 90 to 120 days. And so in 12 months from your purchase, we'll have funds. We even dangle the funds to you and say, if you don't want to go 3 years for the possible 7x, we'll take you back for 2x and pay you back 600 million for your 300 million, and you can exit. But for those that want to go the long run, we're not having a cashback guarantee for the 7x, but we know the value of where we are going to, and you will be part of creating that value to ensure that. How are you part of creating that value? There are about 4 or 5 people right now that have bought more than 10 plots in ALESA. In the first instance, we opened up the investment in 2022. The 10 of you that will be buying 10 plots each, or one of you that will be buying the 100 plots, you'll be part of what we call ALESA Masterminds. Remember, we have not done the layout because we want to go to Dubai, get inspiration, and do a world-class layout, because the layout in an estate is the value of the estate. That's why the layout of Shell RA is the value of Shell RA, not Rumukurushi, which is the location. If you transplant Shell RA from where it is and put the normal Rumukurushi there, nobody will visit there again. So we are coding this right to the layout very jealously. And the 10 of you will be part of the mastermind. What's the mastermind? When we do our layout with our team of both international, local architects and town planners, we'll present it to the 10 of you to check if you are satisfied before we present it. And this is an opportunity so many people will even pay 300 million for without even the land. Why? I hear so many of you saying there's no proper planned estate, there's no this estate, I've been to US, I saw this estate, I've been to Korea, I've been to Singapore. This is your opportunity to pour in your input into our world-class estate. So it's an environment you will help to create. The 10 of you must be satisfied with our plan, our design and layout before we now present it. And we are presenting it in a special event called the Housing for All 2.0. In 2021, we had the biggest event in Port Harcourt called the Housing for All Banquet. We're having the Housing for All Banquet 2.0, where we will now present the final plans, designs, and layout to the rest of the public and start allocation. So before then, the 10 of you will get allocation. And then we have the right of first resale that saves you 60 million naira. How do you save 60 million naira? When you buy our offer for 300 million, when we resell your land for you, that's you don't want to sell, you want us to sell for you, you are supposed to pay us 10%. So when the land becomes 60 million in 12 months, for your 10 plots is 600 million. When we sell it, you're supposed to give us 60 million naira as commission for sales. But get what? Because we want you to have your 2x intact, when you invest 300 million today, when we sell for you, we'll still give you your 600 million naira intact and you save 60 million naira. Then you have a free 5 years access to Distress Sales Club. We are forming 2 clubs that are very important for property lovers. The first club is the Distress Sales Club. I found out that wealth transfer, just like the Forex market, people that are emotionally weak transfer money to people that are emotionally strong. As Warren Buffett said, he said, when people get greedy, I get fearful. When people get fearful, I get greedy. What does it mean? When the stock market is crashing and people are selling, he will buy their shares for cheap. When the stock market is booming and people are buying, he doesn't buy. So distress sale is, we have a club where we have a network of realtors, that people that are choked, that ordinarily their property is 10 million naira, but because they are choked, maybe they have a burial and they want money today, they can sell it for 5 million. That club will have an alert that once we send the message, all of you will just say there's a 10 million naira land for 5 million. And the first to pay gets it. And we can now resell that land for you at the normal market price for 10 million naira, and you've doubled your money. So you are supposed to pay $1,000 for access to that Distress Sales Club. $1,000 a year or $100 a month. But because you bought into this stage, you are going to get 5 years access to that club for free. So you would have saved $5,000 in 5 years. Another little perk that might mean nothing to you but means everything to people like me is a free model of ALESA HIGHLANDS. We're producing our models with the best model producers in Dubai and Turkey, and I love to always see my developments in my house in miniature forms. So the 10 of you will be getting free models of ALESA delivered to your house for free. So this is a wonderful project, and we have called it the Wonder of Port Harcourt. And this is also a wonderful opportunity too, where for the price of one duplex, you get 7 in 3 years, and you get 2 in 1 year surely, that even if you don't want the land that is valued at that price, can give you back the money in a cashback guarantee. But the best opportunity I have seen in the world is constantly becoming a better you daily. I don't know if what you've seen in this presentation has made you better, but let me sincerely ask you, how much better would you feel in 3 years if you take this opportunity? That's a question you should sincerely contemplate. Second question I would like to ask is, how proud of you would you be in 3 years if you took this opportunity? Or, how would you feel in 3 years if you don't take this opportunity and it works out for those that took it, and you see yourself that you saw this and you missed this? But the real question I would like to end this presentation is, why? Why would you take advantage of an opportunity that can double your investment in 1 year? Why would you be part of the best project and the best legacy to come into the Garden City and probably Nigeria? Why would you be part of those whose stories, when are told, will say took advantage of a good opportunity and saw it? Why would you be part of the trust circle and value circle of the mayor of housing? Why would you want to do something so nice that people will talk about how witty, how wise, and how smart you were? Second question is, why not? Why not take advantage of this and make yourself proud? Why not be part of the best legacy project that's coming to Nigeria? Why not be proud of something that even Koreans, Italians, South Africans are already part of? Why not take advantage under your nose here in Nigeria, something that people as far as the diaspora in US have taken advantage of? Why not? But the most important question is, why not you? Why not you that have always said that there's no project, there's no estate that meets your taste, there's no estate that is well managed, there's no estate that is well planned, there's no estate that gives returns, there's no estate in the right location. There are no good estates in Port Harcourt. There is no realtor that is trustworthy. Why not you that have been looking for an opportunity to genuinely find one person you can trust and one person you can build with? But the most pertinent question is, why not now? Why not now that Port Harcourt is so locked up that there are only 4 real estate development? Other parts of Port Harcourt are filled with pseudo estates where they build the regular shanties and put a gate on the street and call it an estate. And only 4 estates, Harmony Estate, Transamari Garden, Golf Estate, Reef Court Estate, are the proper estate, and something even more proper is coming now. Why not take advantage and be the forefront of the first people that laid the foundational, transformational template for the new Port Harcourt? Why not take advantage now that your money in a fixed deposit will get you highest 18% or 20%, but this will get you 200% if at all you are so disgusted with the location that you don't want to have anything to do with the location. Why not take advantage now that you can be part of the mastermind that will not only make an input into this development, but your opinion will be key to what we curate together and create together? Why not be part of the most collaborative businessman alive in Africa today, to collaborate to build something monumental? Why not now? In 10 days' time, this will be gone, and either one person takes it all or 10 people take the 10 slots. Why not now? Well, who am I to advise you? Because Darren Hardy said, never take advice from someone with whom you wouldn't want to trade places. And My one obsession is when you trade places with me. You just heard their testimonial and they had traded places with me and they are telling you their good stories. When you trade places and you'll be here telling the world about the mayor of housing, about this project, about ALESA Highland, about the investment, about how it paid off, that's my only obsession, your testimonial. And not if someone will. There are 2.5 million Nigerians that can afford it, which is the 0.1% of Nigerians that has the means to buy this. To see how you can take advantage of this,